I hope you all feel the inspiration in the room. We have our next presenter is Kate Stoddard and Orchestra Provisions.
Hi, my name is Kate Stoddard. I'm a mother, an environmentalist, and a food scientist. I have a master's in the science of nutrition, and I'm the founder and CEO of Orchestra Provisions, where we are combating global hunger and confronting environmental demise with insect protein. An orchestra not only describes a grouping of crickets, like a herd of deer, but also a group of humans coming together for change outside of themselves. I am here in front of you today because I am deeply concerned, and I think all of you are too. Modern agriculture is destroying the earth that sustains us, leading cause of global warming and climate change. Our wild spaces are disappearing. We're cutting down the rainforests at an alarming rate to grow corn and soy to feed our cattle so we can have a hamburger whenever we please. Our biodiversity is disappearing. We need this for carbon recapture and a healthy ecosystem balance. The common misconception is that we need to save the earth. But this is not the case. She'll be fine. In our absence, nature always finds balance. We must save humanity. And we are inextricably tied, our health, with that of the earth. The CDC and WHO projects we'll have 10 billion people living off of the earth's resources by 2050. In order to meet these nutritional demands, we need to increase our agricultural output by 70%. While I was in graduate school, I found a solution we can all be a part of, an untapped food staple that addresses all of these problems. I learned about entomophagy. This is the practice of eating insects. I was studying iron deficiency anemia, and I found an anomaly of a tribe in Zimbabwe whom, though they were vegetarian, had very few instances of this #1 public health concern globally. The answer? They were not fully vegetarian. They eat mopani worms, which are very rich in heme iron. I became very excited about the potential of this market and the opportunity to address these needs. Further in my research, I found a report the UN and FAO had put out about the viability and sustainability of feeding billions of mouths insect protein. 2.5 billion people worldwide today eat insects. It's even been hypothesized that our evolutionarily success story has been because of our ability to forage for this protein source. Come to find out, large companies like PepsiCo and Nestle are mobilizing their research and development teams to confront aversion to this food staple, recently stating that they feel confident they can convert their customer base. So I'm not alone. The United Nations, 2.5 billion people globally, Nestle, PepsiCo, all know this is the future of food. So how good are they for us exactly, these crickets? Well, they have gram per gram more protein than beef, more calcium than milk, more iron than spinach, prebiotic fiber for a healthy microbiome, and they're extremely bioavailable, easily assimilated by the human body. Nut-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, keto-friendly. Not only are they better for us, they're better for the planet. We have got to start eating lower on the food chain, and this is the case with crickets. They reproduce quickly and efficiently, reaching maturation in only 30 days without chemicals, antibiotics, or hormones. They require a fraction of the arable land, feed, and water as other competing protein sources, and that includes plant protein. They're regenerative. They thrive off of compost and recycle from waste of other food systems. And their excrement is yet another product, which is fertilizer to rebuild our topsoil. So, if I'm going to save the world with insect protein, I probably should be eating it daily myself. I bought a bag of crickets. I put it in my pantry, and I looked at them, and they looked back at me. And I didn't want to ruin a meal. Here's where Orchestra Provisions, Insects as Ingredients philosophy was born. Our products offer you all of the nutritional benefits without compromising your dining experience. We have 9 seasoning blends, including a taco seasoning and a curry powder, 4 therapeutics, including Mayan cocoa and golden milk, and 3 protein powders, vanilla, chocolate, and chai, which are perhaps the most exciting products because they have the ability to replace another less sustainable, less healthy protein serving, like whey, which is very hard on our body and harsh on the earth. We are not the first people in this market space, but we are the only business offering products that are easily integrated into all established diet routines every single meal of every day. This market is, we were just recognized last year by Forbes on the Next 1,000 list as entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs who are redefining the American dream. This global market is growing fast, and we want to take a share of this customer base while also converting all current protein users. In an initial targeted marketing campaign, we found that our customers want to support sustainability and health in their purchasing decisions. They are also outdoor enthusiasts, food as fuel athletes, 25 to 60 years old, and 46% of them already use protein powders daily. With our average order value of $60, we will corner $73 million of revenue in this market. We currently have 3 streams of revenue, over 20 different retailers, including 2 Albertsons locations, and 13 collaborations with restaurants and coffee shops and food service, where customers can experience our products off of a ready-made menu item, and we can convert them into our users based on the reputation and validation of those chefs and those restaurants. We also have a direct-to-consumer through our website with a subscription model. This is where we're going to grow our business next, with targeted marketing campaigns and alliances with our athlete ambassadors for customer acquisition. Our startup is in its infancy, but we've already seen great growth, with 103% year-over-year revenue, and our website is seeing a great traffic increase, with a 20% increase month to month. 94% of our retailers reorder. This is all organic growth, with marketing Moxie and very little budget in that area. Next, we were accepted into Food Expo West in Anaheim in March, and we will be going to a Chobani incubator for 1 day in October. Our team is made up of myself and my partner, Beppe Amadeo, who is a CFO and business strategist. We are also 1% for the Planet members. We collaborate with a B Corp marketing firm in Boise, Oliver Russell, and our supply chain is stronger than ever. We source from Cricket One, a female-founded regenerative farm, who can have a pallet of insect powder to our co-packer inside of a week, 475 pounds. We use a fulfillment center as well as a co-packer, so we are fully automated and ready to scale. When you support Orchestra Provisions, you support a future in hospital nutrition, childhood nutrition, disaster relief, and the supplement industry where we can address nutrient deficiencies. Thank you, and we hope that you will support us in this regenerative food system that will feed the planet.
So here's an interesting statistic for it. You can use. I'm very, very interested in this. In the next 40 years, we need to produce more food than we've produced in the last 8,000 years. So, which is rather interesting. I kind of see this as sort of a top-down and bottom-up issue. So relative to beef and pork, the argument is easy, right? Relative to plant product coming up the other way, what is the advantage of a cricket over various plant-based products and cost of production?
Yes, plant-based products require just as much arable land, if not more, to cow and pork, and water, lots of water. Crickets require a fraction of both of those things. They can also be grown indoors in city centers, so you can have local urban protein as well.
There's the psychological element, right? I mean, I know a lot of people eat insects. My wife and I were talking about, she ate insects, she's tried them. So, but what are your thoughts about that to sort of get?
Yeah, it's a big problem for the industry for sure. I think one that's been approached incorrectly, and that's what sets us apart in the market space. All of our products have been designed with that in mind. You would never really know that you're having the added nutritional value. It doesn't affect the taste, the smell, the look of your food. So, and the insects as ingredients approach that we're kind of showing people is that just like any other ingredient on all those labels that we are reading, why not add cricket powder if it's not going to affect the quality and experience?
Let's go back to the plant thing again, right? So we can't digest cellulose. I don't know if crickets can, because I would market that they could actually digest elements of the plant that we can't. Right?
Yes.
So, food chain's a pyramid. So how much plant does a cricket need to eat, right, in order to make a cricket, right? So are you using more plants actually to create enough cricket product?
Sure. So currently the farm that we source with, they use waste from other food systems. So the big one they're using right now is the fiber, that cellulose we can't digest. So something, the cassava plant, right? Very popular right now as an alternative flour. So a large part of that plant goes to waste, but the crickets actually convert it really efficiently into human nutrition.
I'm sorry, go for it.
No. Yeah, I'm just intrigued about this cricket powder. I've been to a restaurant and eaten crickets, and I've enjoyed them immensely. And you said you started it and they were looking you in the face or something. And did you create powder because it's unacceptable to eat the insects, or it's harder for you to sell? Because I've really enjoyed it at a restaurant, and they're like crisps, like potato crisps, but healthier. So why
Sure.
powder? And is the margin better? Because you were talking about $60, and I don't know how many powders you get or how many jars of that.
Yeah, so I would say you're in a bit of a minority. I'm also one of those people that can probably eat a fried salted cricket and think it's kind of cool. But the problem with why this hasn't taken off is 100% aversion. And while 2.5 billion people are already eating them, many of the world's leading economies have not embraced this as a food staple. So how do we get these people who it's not a part of their food story and their food tradition to embrace it? And we're really good at consuming superfood powders and protein powders and things of the like. So if we can make it recognizable or familiar to something you're already using, where you can replace that other product, then I think that we can confront aversion. And the second part of your question was, the cost. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the cost side. The powder seemed to have, it felt like it had either had a higher margin, or maybe you had to grind up so many of these that your cost basis is a lot if you're getting $60 in revenue per purchase. And I don't know if that was one unit or how many units that was.
That's just our average order value. So oftentimes people are ordering a couple of different products off of our website. Currently, the cricket powder we're just seeing as this starts to become a more valid food staple. These farms are getting more funding and they're scaling, and the price is just coming down and down and down. So we're at kind of our highest cost that we will ever be right now.
So I'm a believer in the insect eating too. Like Chuck, I've eaten them as crisps, and I've tried the bar and powder format too. I even brought some to my office, but I couldn't get anybody to try the bars. But one of your other suppliers listed on your website, not Cricket One, is Chapool, which was a former Shark Tank winner, I think. But they transitioned from trying to incorporate it into foods, like what you're doing now, and into wholesale. So any idea, were they unsuccessful in switching that psychology?
Yeah.
Like, would you have to go the same way?
Patrick Crowley is a mentor and friend of mine, and he is the founder of Chapool. They actually focused more in offering. They kind of saw that the farming and the supply side was weak, and they got really interested in the agricultural process. So they did shift more of their energy as a small company into that aspect, saying we can't take on all of these pieces of the business. And actually, in doing that, they shifted all. They have been driving all of their customer base into our product space. So there's actually a hyperlink on their website to our products. So they do have just the pure cricket powder, but if you want the protein powder, you can buy it from us. So I don't think that they were unsuccessful. I think that they realized they had bitten off too much and they could be more successful in hyper-focusing.
There was a couple of questions, I think, from the audience about quality of crickets on the supply side and different ways you can source it.
Well, I would ask a little bit more of her specific.
Is there maybe a difference in quality from different sources of your cricket farmers or whatever?
Sure. Just like any kind of agricultural process, the quality of the food is going to be reflective of how you raise them, the food you're giving them, all of that kind of stuff. Currently, all of the farms I've worked with have just been so motivated by the impact that they are doing a really great job of taking care of their crickets and growing really quality food. I think that will be a problem in the industry to come when we start accepting this is, are we just feeding them corn and soy now as well?
Got it, okay. Thanks, and great presentation, Kate. One other question I had was about risks. Do you think that the consumer willingness to adopt is the main risk for you guys, or what do you see as things you're thinking about?
Yeah, that's probably the one. But what I've seen is, and I'm not afraid of this, is if one thing doesn't work, you pivot into these collaborations with these restaurants because food service has been bread and butter for us so far. It moves a lot more product a lot quicker, and it's a part of their menu. So that's been like kind of a nice staple for us as we start to kind of look at how are we being more effective in addressing these aversions for people.
So can you talk a little bit about the competitors? Because one of the things I'm kind of wondering is the barrier to entry of farming crickets and producing a powder from it. And it seems that there are, there's a few other companies out there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of companies have tried to tackle both at the same time, like Chapul, right? Many cattle ranchers are not actually selling their beef. There are many different parts of their business. And so I think the same is true of crickets. You do a really good job of making these products for people so that it can gain mainstream traction, or you're doing the farming. This is something that Orchestra definitely has a sight to vertically integrate eventually and have that farmer own. But the market space right now, there are more new startups kind of joining every day, and most of them have that divide. There will be a farm, and then there will be a company that's working on CPG. Yeah.